the other thing we wanted to talk about today was kind of an update with the update might be a bad word, but just a situation with the Tyler Goodrich missing Lincoln Man case.
Yep.
Can you kind of walk us through kind of what the new information is or the new development is in that case?
Yeah, and so the good segue for this is that it's Crime Stoppers related. We've gotten a number of Crime Stoppers complaints on Tyler Goodrich's case. It is still an active missing persons case that our office is working on. Investigators are following up on tips. They're rechecking their work. We're doing anything that we can, all with the goal of trying to find Tyler. I mentioned at our media briefing this morning, we're continuing to work with family and friends, and the family also still includes his husband Marshall, by the way, and so we're still keeping lines of communication open with all of those people so that we can ultimately find Tyler. One of the things that came out of that recently was a social media post about an anonymous letter that we received via Crime Stoppers just before the new year. It was around the holidays, and we would like to get in touch with the author of that letter. A lot of tips come into Crime Stoppers on the website, on the P3 app, sometimes on the phone. This tip happened to come in via just a paper letter. One of the nice things about Crime Stoppers is if you send us a tip via the website, even if you call on the phone, we have some mechanisms where if we need to ask some clarifying information, verify some information, get some maybe additional details that might help us, we can have a dialogue, but still protect your anonymity and keep the fact that you're providing this information confidential. That's part of the beauty of the Crime Stoppers program. Unfortunately, with a paper letter,
Can't do that.
we can't always do that because we either they may not have put any return address on there. Maybe they wanted to stay anonymous for a reason. Sometimes even if people are submitting tips on the Crime Stoppers website, they may not check that app. If we send a message back to them, they send a tip and they kind of forget about it, they might not check it. And so we just want to get some word out. If you are the person that wrote this letter to us, if you know the person that wrote this letter to us, we'd just like to get in touch with you. I don't know that letter in and of itself is going to move us any closer to finding Tyler, but we take every tip seriously, and this is just one that we'd like to get in touch with the person to ask some additional questions.
And so the significance of this letter to the investigation, again, like you just said, you just want to get in touch with the author at this point.
Yep.
Ask a few follow-up questions. Maybe they do know something that they don't even realize.
Yes.
So just to kind of talk to them that way.
Yes.
And, again, you're stressing that this person can remain anonymous as well.
Yes, they can. And whether it's this case or any other case, again, that's why Crime Stoppers works, because they work very hard to protect the identity of people who want to remain anonymous.
Mm-hmm. Is it anything that at this time you can share what was in the letter?
I'm not going to discuss the contents of the tips, and we don't do those with any tips. Again, that's to protect the integrity of the Crime Stoppers program. It's to protect the integrity of the case in Tyler's missing person case. We don't know at this point whether this was an accident, whether this was something that was criminal related. It's too soon to say. We still have to protect the integrity of our investigation, and there's just certain things that we still have to keep within the investigative record.
Totally understandable. You kind of mentioned it, but kind of where do we stand now? It's been 3 months, and I know with missing persons, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Kind of what's going on with the investigation? Is it just still kind of just hoping, searching, looking through tips?
Yeah, I mean we're obviously very concerned for Tyler's welfare. I mean it's been a significant amount of time since he was last seen and has last been heard from. All the way back on November 3rd is the last time that his whereabouts were known. And we, along with his family and friends, are extremely concerned for his welfare. And we continue to devote a lot of resources to trying to find him. Now, that might look different. I know there's been some chatter on social media. Well, have they done this? Are they doing that? Why aren't we hearing any updates? I wish that I could come on your segment and talk with you about how we found something, how we're getting closer. But we haven't had any major developments in the case that have brought us any closer to locating Tyler, really since we started. And it's frustrating for the family. It's frustrating for Tyler's friends. It's frustrating for us and our investigators. We would love nothing more than to to be able to find him and bring whatever form of closure that we can to this case. But unfortunately, we just have not gotten the leads that we need to take the next step and move this forward.
And again, I don't know if you would qualify this letter as a lead, but how important would just something fresh, a new thing, something be in an investigation like this?
It's extremely important, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the tips. Sometimes people think that that bystander effect steps in, that I have this information, but somebody surely already reported it, or I saw this, but I know other people saw it too, so I don't need to report it. I'd really encourage people to come forward if they have information about this. We don't want hearsay, we don't want things that you've heard third hand, but if you've got firsthand actionable information that we can take to further our investigation, we absolutely want you to contact us with that information.
And again, you kind of mentioned it, but things may have changed from where this investigation started because the amount of time. Is this something that you guys still have someone dedicated every day to continue working on, combing through these tips?
Yeah, we still have an investigator that's assigned to this case. That's a primary investigator that's assigned. That's not to say that he doesn't do other stuff, but we're still working on this case, on a daily basis. Sometimes that work looks different. Sometimes there's more hours spent on this, that, or the other. But yeah, I mean, we're still continuing to work, reaching out with our other law enforcement partners, all the way from local partners here to the FBI, and we've been working back and forth to just leave no stone unturned. Again, with that ultimate goal of locating Tyler.
On a personal note for you and the investigators, I mean, you guys want to find something somewhere as much as Tyler's family. The emotional toll that it can take on you guys, can you kind of speak to that? And like I said, you guys want to find him just as much as anyone else.
We got into this line of work because making a difference to people is important to us, and being able to bring Tyler home, or at the very least bring some closure to his family and friends, is why we do what we do. And I know a lot of our investigators and a lot of our deputies have put in just a ton of hours and just a lot of like you said, emotional investment into this case. And I can't thank them enough for all the work that they've done, but they're going to continue to do until we locate Tyler. And I can speak for everybody at the sheriff's office that we're not going to stop until we can figure out what happened and find Tyler.
And again, I'm sure that probably can be echoed for all the other law enforcement that have been involved in this search as well. So again, this letter, looking to find the author. So if you know who wrote it, if you are the person who wrote it, again, the best way to reach out, probably right here on the screen. Again, crimestoppers.com, probably the number one place, or the P3 app there.
If they're willing to get in touch with us directly, give us a call. I mean, 441-6500 is our main number. But if you want to stay anonymous, call Crime Stoppers, the 402-475-3600. They're on the screen. LincolnCrimeStoppers.com. And there are ways that you can still remain anonymous, but dialogue with our investigators, again, to hopefully, in this case, help us find Tyler. But if you have any information about anyone that's on our most wanted list, or any other crimes that happen in the Lincoln-Lancaster County area, that's what we're here for.